I don't think people realize how important, because it's Steph Curry's franchise, how important Kevin Durant was to their success. They were in the finals the two times they won it. He was the MVP of both. He was the best player on that team. And so with an opportunity to go back, because Phoenix has not panned out, and we were at the Super Bowl when the deal with Phoenix happened a couple of years ago. It's not come close to anything that he thought it was going to be. An opportunity to go back there in a system he knows, a place he knows, and said, I'm good. Like, I'm good here.
But think about the variables here, right? You've already won championships there. And listen, Golden State that's a San Francisco. It's San Francisco. What area is that Golden State? It's like San Fran, right?
Yeah.
Something like that to that effect. That area. It's a nice area. Tech place booming.
It's not where it used to be. We know that.
Yeah. But if I'm choosing,
Jonas would call it.
if I'm choosing coming up
Dump
short,
in Oakland, he said.
No mattress firms there, just sleeping bags.
Dang. If I'm choosing a place to come up short on winning the championship, but we're decent, we're not bad, I'm staying in Phoenix. I have the weather. I have
Bourbon and Bones.
Damn.
Yeah, you have good places to eat. Very, very fine spots to dine. And it's just I think that a lot of people really enjoy Phoenix. I mean, the tax situation is different. I don't know. I feel like it's not, when you look at Golden State right now, is it still a destinational place? And I guess it leads me back to the question I asked before, us talking about, Durant declining to want to go there. Is this a place that you still want to go? Is this a team that still has the chance of being able to win it all?
Well, I'd say this. Jimmy Butler obviously thinks so, right? He declines his player option. He signs a 2-year deal. So you got that window right now. And probably with Steph's age, he feels like, and they feel like, this is the pairing that could make it work for them. It's almost like a buyer beware for me with that if you're a Golden State fan, because like I got to follow the Heat, and I kind of watched how that all worked out. It never really worked out, I think, quite the way they had hoped, especially at the end where they suspended him 3 different times this season. So I'm a little concerned for if that's the anticipation for Golden State fans, that he's going to come in and take a team that's 500 currently, get them into the playoffs, go on this run through the West, and be able to make the NBA Finals. It ain't happening. I'm just going to go ahead and call that right now. It's not happening. And so it may help improve this team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But this isn't like the recreation of what they once had with Klay Thompson, with Draymond, with and everything they've had in the past with Kevin Durant too.
Klay Thompson's injuries completely changed, I think, what they envisioned the future was always going to be. They just figured those two guys were going to retire together. Like that was just, and Draymond Green was going to be there, and that's just the way that thing was going to go. And he could never.
That, though?
He never got back to full health. He was never the same player.
But he's still playing. It doesn't. I mean, he could have stayed for less money. I think it was never going to be that.
Well, I think he was over it. I think he was over the system. He felt like he wasn't getting an opportunity like he was in the past, and I think he wanted to go.
Do you feel like he's getting that opportunity now?
I mean,
that's the reality of it.
I just don't. I think those back-to-back injuries changed who he was as a player, which is why they've been trying to find somebody to fill that void. With Jimmy Butler always struck me as a guy who didn't really want to be the second fiddle to somebody else, because there were opportunities for him to go and play with other superstars. Wasn't into it. Like he chose Miami because he was really the face of that team for a while, and then next thing you know, that fell apart, and he was looking for a way out, and this was the best option for him.
I think he's a baller, and he's a beast of a player when he's playing. Clearly, I feel like some of the things that we've seen from him lately, the way he does his hair for the photo shoots, or, just certain things, painting his fingernails, like, doing the different color hairstyles and all that stuff. I think he's gotten kind of a little away from what made Jimmy
Basketball?
Butler. Yeah. Yeah. I think he's been a little bit distracted from being the best player that he can be as a player. I think a lot of stardom has come his way probably since the COVID year. I think a lot of attention has come his way. I look at Jimmy Butler. I think obviously if he brings the A game that Jimmy Butler can bring, he makes this Warriors team a better team. But does he really move the needle enough for this Golden State team to go in the right direction? I would say today that's a definitive no for me. I mean, I look at some of the other teams that are out there right now. The Thunder, they're continuing to mature and come into their own. They got a ton of talent. You see the Grizzlies, they're maturing. Ja Morant hasn't gotten into any trouble.
That was another Memphis was a team, Jimmy Butler, that was in conversation, and he wouldn't go to Memphis. For whatever reason, that was just a team.
Yeah, because you're not going to be, like you said, like that's Ja Morant's, that's his team. You look at the Rockets. The Rockets are that's a really, really talented team.
They play hard, man.
They play some ball.
Ime Udoka can coach. I know he got run out in Boston for the affair or whatever happened.
He was doing all right when they were in Boston.
Yes.
I just don't.
To the finals.
Those top tier teams in the West, those top names in the top slots are now, in my estimation, rapidly changing. It's not the Golden State. It's not, even the Nuggets have slipped down in terms of what it looks like for them to be able to come out of the West. It's a very, very competitive West right now. I mean, you even look at the Timberwolves.
There's parity.
Is
anyone as good as Boston, though?
Okay,
I don't. OKC can. I mean, the Rockets, the Grizzlies, OKC, the Rockets. I think are all teams out of the West that could possibly win it, and more so, I think Oklahoma is in prime position to be that team. I know a lot of people say we don't talk basketball very often or whatever, and I saw people make comments that, we don't know anything about. Actually, I do pay a lot of attention to the NBA. I know we talk about it off air a lot. I know enough about basketball to tell you these are the teams that are competitive teams. These are the teams that aren't competitive teams. And a lot of the players that are on the teams that I just mentioned have been young talents that are now, again, starting to come into their own. The teams are showing that, they're definitely primed to be able to compete for the West. And you're looking at teams like the Warriors that they haven't gotten better. Jimmy Butler makes them better, but this is not a team that has moved in the direction of they're going to contend for the West. I don't see that.
And by the way, for people out there that are like, well, you guys don't talk NBA, because a lot of the NBA sucks. Like, what do you want? The storylines are bad. The games are awful. It's like the owner of a restaurant's like, you never eat here. Your food sucks. Like, get a better menu.
I like the Cavaliers, too, by the way.
The Cavs are good.
I like Cleveland.
We'll see if they can get over the Boston in the playoffs. But my response would be, you don't watch. So don't sit there and say, like, we don't talk. Well, you don't watch either. Look at the ratings. If you had participated and watched these actual games, maybe we won't be dunking on the ratings the whole time.
Yeah. Dang.
So we talk trade deadline. We'll get to them once they get into the playoffs. They get closer. And do you want us to talk about the in-season tournament? No one cares.
And
the ratings were down for that, too.
And you know what? That'll wrap up our NBA coverage for the year 2024-2025.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
We did it, folks. We did it.
Let's wait.
What do you want us to talk about? WNBA?
Right. We did it.
Mabry asked for a trade. I mean,
there
she
you
wants
go.
to be traded out there. Well, we'll get exactly.
Ooh, somebody let an owl in here?
Dang.
No, I'm just saying. You want to go WNBA? We'll talk about it.
Damn.
I mean, I bet you Caitlyn Jenner is going to be at the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift.
I am walking out of the segment for that reason.
Yeah. I mean.